episode 30 of the podcast. We're going to start with some statements, and we're going to play a little game of if they are true or if they are false. And then the second part, we're going to talk a little bit about customer service and expectations. This is the Creating Great Grooming Dogs podcast. I'm Chrissy Newmeyer-Smith. I'm a certified professional groomer, a certified behavior consultant for canines, and a certified professional dog trainer. And this, my friends and colleagues, is the podcast where grooming and training meet. So this week I had a whole bunch of topics in my head, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and do it as a true-false. So we're going to do some statements and then talk about if they are true or if they are false. And some of these statements are pretty common. Some of these things are pretty common. And those of you who have been listening will probably know the world according to Chrissy and have some idea of what my answer is going to be. If you find that you truly disagree with any of these, let me know. I would love to discuss it. So let's go on and start with a couple of these. I've got a whole bunch of them here, but let's start with one. True or false? All dogs are motivated by food. It's an interesting one, right? All dogs are motivated by food. True or false? I am going to say false. No, not all dogs are motivated by food. Now, food can often be a great reward and a primary reward because it is something essential to life. But I had a dog who was not motivated by food at all. And every time I hear someone saying, oh, you just got to get them hungry enough or something, I'm like, no, you just haven't had your dog yet that wasn't motivated by food. She would easily walk away from a plate of food. Did it almost every day. I'd have to sit beside them at the time I had 2 cats. I had to sit beside them all like, okay, eat your food. Don't let the cats get your food, eat a little bit more, right? And she was a skinny mini. It's not like I was overfeeding her or, she just wasn't motivated by food. And I'll tell you, there was one point where we were doing an agility class. We were taking an agility class, and the instructor used her as a demo and said, Chrissy, I don't know what you're talking about. She's taking all of my food. And I'm like, did you notice that she spit it? Wait, what? Yeah, she spit all that food out. And we look over, and there's a big trail of treats on the floor because what she thought was interesting was that she got someone to give her something. But the food wasn't part of it for her. So no, not all dogs are motivated by food. And I'm going to add here, too, that while many dogs who are motivated by food, some of them are not motivated by food during sensitive times. And what I mean by sensitive times are times when they're a little apprehensive. Not necessarily so stressed out that they're not interested in food, but like a lot of dogs on a grooming table are like, no, this isn't a food place. I'm not interested in food. Sometimes dogs, who are in the middle of something, they're like, this isn't food time for me. Right? Something else is happening. So some dogs are not motivated by food all the time. And then there are those precious few who are totally motivated by food anytime, anywhere, no matter what's going on. So all dogs are motivated by food is false. All right, let's pick another one. Here's another statement. Pushing a dog through the grooming process will teach them that it doesn't hurt, and then they'll learn to be good. That's something we hear pretty often in the grooming world. That's a pretty common thing. So what do you guys think? All right, whether you're new listeners or you've been listening for a while, do we think that's true or false? Pushing a dog through the grooming process will teach them that it doesn't hurt, and then they'll learn to be good. And that is false. And I'm going to say it's false because for many, many dogs, it's the pushing them through a process that stresses them out. Not so much whether or not they were injured. Because they might come out of a grooming session never, ever having been injured, but still stressed out because we've kind of pushed them through. Okay? And the idea that if it doesn't hurt and we keep pushing them through, they'll eventually figure out that, it wasn't a big deal and we'll learn to be good. It hasn't been my experience. And as I've said before, I'm a crossover trainer. I've forced a lot of dogs to do stuff earlier in my career, and it did not turn out that way, right? It didn't teach them to be good. It might have taught them why bother struggling, or it might have taught them not to try to bite me or something, but that's different than our 3 C's, calm, comfortable, and cooperative. right? Dogs aren't going to learn to be calm, comfortable, or cooperative by us pushing them through the process to prove to them that it didn't hurt. Right? And don't be judgy about that, because a lot of groomers are taught that way. A lot of groomers have been taught to do it that way. And it just doesn't hold up as well. All right? So that is false. All right. Here is another statement. This one's actually pretty common too. True or false? Dogs growl, bite, and or struggle because they don't respect us or see us as an alpha. So is that true or is that false? All right. So here's the answer. That is false. All right. The thing is that dogs that are growling or biting or struggling, it has nothing to do with respect. It has nothing to do with if they see us as someone who's in charge. It has to do with their stress level. It has to do with them feeling like they need to fight or flee. All right. So if we look at an individual dog and look at the individual behavior that we are seeing, that we can describe, that we can observe, then the labels of things like respect or alpha can fall by the wayside, and we can just take a closer look at, is this dog comfortable with this or not? Is this dog stressed? Is this dog struggling to get away? Is this dog struggling to get at us? Like what is happening in that situation and in that moment, and how can we teach the dog how to be calm, comfortable, and cooperative, or appropriate, or relaxed, or whatever it is that we need to teach them in that moment. But the idea that they don't respect us or they don't see us as an alpha is a very outdated kind of point of view. And it's still pretty common, but it is kind of outdated. Look at the behavior instead of those labels. Those labels aren't as helpful as we used to think they were. All right, here is another statement. This one's a good one. True or false? Owners should seek training solutions for dogs who have problems with grooming. Is that true or is that false? I know people who listen to the podcast probably know exactly where I'm going to come down on this one, but that is true. If an owner has a dog that has a problem with grooming, they should be seeking training solutions. Dog training is not just about what happens at home. Dog training is about helping an owner keep their dog from hurting anyone at all. Veterinary staff, doggy daycares, groomers, they have a responsibility. Now, our responsibility is to tell them that there's a problem and help them find the solution. That might be something that you know how to do. That might be something that you send them to a colleague for. Like, hey, here is a local person that I really want you to get in touch with because they're going to be able to help you with this problem. We need to provide some guidance, but we also need to stick it firmly in their lap that their dog has a problem with the grooming process and they should be seeking solutions about that. All right. I think we've all been taken advantage of as an industry for far too long. All right. We don't need to put up with that. It's not like it's the groomer's problem. It's not the groomer's problem. It's everybody's problem, but it's mostly the owner's problem. So we want to help them find solutions and help them understand that they need to work on it. Okay, they have some responsibilities, and we're there to help. All right, let's pick another one. What do we got here? Here's a good one. True or false? Positive reinforcement means using food. Do you guys know? Is that one true or is that one false? Positive reinforcement means using food. That is false. I hear it a lot, but positive reinforcement isn't just about using food. Positive reinforcement could be a variety of rewards. So, positive reinforcement, for those who are not training geeks, like myself, right? Positive reinforcement means there's a behavior that we want to have happen again. So we add something, that's the positive part, we add something so that behavior will happen more often, reinforced, right? So that behavior will happen more often. What kind of things can we add to motivate a dog to do it again and again? There are lots of things we can add. Here's an example. If my dog does something goofy and I laugh, they'll often do it again. Because when I laugh, that to them is a signal to play. Even though if you listen to the podcast, you know I'm laughing all the time. But if I laugh at them, that's a signal like, woohoo, I did something she thought was funny, right? And I'll give you an example. My last dog, I was doing yoga when she was about a year old. And I was in downward facing dog, and she crawled underneath so that I was literally facing a dog. And for whatever reason, I just thought it was hilarious. She would wait for that particular pose and come over and do it again for about a week. Like, hey, are you a downward facing dog? I'm the dog you could be facing in downward facing dog. Just because I laughed, right? It had nothing to do with food. It had nothing to do with a toy. It was just because I laughed. It was just a social interaction that was pleasant. Right? So positive reinforcement could be tossing a ball. Positive reinforcement could be we played tug. Positive reinforcement could be you sat, you did the thing when I asked you to, and I'm going to let you through the door. Lots of things can be used as a reward or a motivator through positive reinforcement. However, it is often thought of as just food. Now, we do use a lot of food. I'm a big fan of using food for many, many types of training and many, many behaviors. But it's not exclusively food. If you're enjoying my podcast, please remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. I want to tell you a little story about me doing business with somebody else this week. So I was the customer, okay, and I brought my car to the shop because the brakes weren't working. I put my foot on the pedal and it went mush all the way to the floor. So I brought the car in, hoping just a brake line, right? Hoping it was like something minimal, something fairly small. So drop it off, and I'm waiting in the waiting room. And guy came over and is super apologetic. Well, it's not something really small. The brake lines for the rear brakes corroded. Because of rust. So we need to run 2 new brake lines to the back. I'm like, okay, well, what's that going to take? How much is it going to cost? Now he's being really apologetic. He's like, oh, well, it's going to be some extra labor. It's going to take about 3 hours. And I'm like, yeah, just tell me, it's a brake job. Doesn't surprise me that my New England car that's pretty old has rust on the bottom and something rusted out. No problem. I get it. Still really apologetic. And why I'm bringing this up is because as a customer, I would rather have someone just tell me up front what my problem is and be happy to help me find a solution, right? If he came out and said, hey, we looked closer. What happened is this is what it will be for us to fix it. It's going to cost, about this much, but we won't know until we get in there if there's other types of corrosion too. Does that sound like something you'd like to book with us, right? I just want straightforward. Now, the reason why I mention this is because many, many times when any of us in any of the dog businesses has a dog that is having a problem, whether it be, their coat is just in terrible shape or they're having a behavior problem, suddenly people get apologetic about it. As a business owner, please do not be apologetic about it unless you have done something. Just be upfront with people. Well, Sparky had some issues today. Are you working on training at home? Is there anything that you can help you get in touch with a trainer or get in touch with your vet? Maybe we can help you find a solution for this, but this is what the charge is going to be because your dog had an issue today. Okay, so don't be apologetic. As a customer, like I said, with this automotive company, there was a point where I was like, you know what? I bet another customer would really take advantage of this. Like, oh, well, that's too much. Like, I kind of got the feeling that they get that a lot. And they probably get talked down to an awful lot. And they probably have people trying to bargain shop them a lot. Whereas I'm like, that's straightforward. All right, if it's going to take about 3 hours. I've worked with them before. Like, I know if it takes less than 3 hours, they charge me less than 3 hours. Like, so I already trust them. But you know what? I bet a lot of customers totally take advantage of them. And I know that happens in the dog world. We're suddenly like, oh, well, I couldn't get the trim super perfect today because, he was trying to bite at us. So I'm going to give you like $5 off. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't get that hair around his lip. And I need you to stop doing that. It's not good for your business. It's not actually helping that owner. That owner needs to know that they have some responsibilities with their own dog, right? That their dog's behavior is unacceptable and they need to take it seriously, and we need to work together to find solutions. It's not your fault that you can't get a beautiful trim on a dog who won't let you do a beautiful trim, right? So, and it's not just the dog industry. Other industries have a problem with this. I think it's also a small business owner industry problem, right? Like large companies don't care about that stuff, but we as small business owners tend to, because we start thinking any customer who gets a little bit upset with us is probably going to be bad for business. And I don't find that to be true. I find that people want some more straightforward, let's tell you exactly what you need and how we can help you. And to be in a mindset of, I'm presenting what I can to help you. But don't be apologetic. And also, not only is it a small business thing, but I also find a lot of the time people assume that it's women business owners who have a harder time with it. But this was a garage. This is a bunch of big burly guys who are also having trouble with it. I think it's something that we in the industries that we are really trying to help people, we get kind of caught up in this idea that we're disappointed if we couldn't help them as much as we wanted to. Okay? And I want you to free yourself from that. Free yourself from it. You don't need to feel like it's your responsibility to help them through a problem by just letting them off the hook, right? I probably could have gone ahead and done the brakes when they told me to, that it might be kind of corroded last summer, right? But I didn't, and I waited for them to kind of go, right? They told me there was some corrosion under there and it might come up, and I let it wait like another 8 months. But it's not about missing out on customers by charging them exactly what you're worth. You give them the option. Like, hey, this is what we're going to need to do. Or, we didn't complete his grooming today. We explained our safety policy to you before we even booked the appointment, so you understand why. And what we had to do today was work him through what we wanted to do, and we left him unfinished, and here is your bill. Ta-da! No apologies. Not apologizing. Here is your bill. This is what we charged you for our time and our efforts. And, you know, to put a stronger, some stronger wording on it, the grooming process is tricky, and we want our dogs to be able to do it, right? But we also need to help people find the solutions they need. If they don't want to, it's a luxury service, and they don't need to buy it, right? They don't need to have their dogs groomed by a professional. So if they aren't interested in teaching their dog to be good, they have other options. If they just want to go for the cheapest price, they have other options. Sadly, there are groomers out there who will do it for cheap money. And many, many groomers go out of business because of that, or totally burn out on grooming. So I don't recommend it. I recommend telling them up front, hey, this is what we do. This is what we did today. This is what we're going to charge you. And this is what we suggest for next time. And, you know, maybe give them the phone number or a business card of a trainer or somebody else who can help them with their specific problem. But like I said, as a customer, it was really kind of weird to have the guys at the garage being kind of like, kind of standoffish and apologetic that they were going to have to charge me. I'm like, all right. I mean, it actually kind of made me wonder, like, do they think I can't afford this? I mean, certainly I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl, but I don't think I look like I'm destitute, you know? Like, it's like, yeah, it's a car repair. Okay, you know? It kind of made you look around like, is there something else going on? Is this wrong? All right. But it's just because sometimes we get into this idea of wanting to help people and provide the service, and feeling uncomfortable when it's more than what we thought it was going to be, or it's more work than the average service. Does that make sense? So I want you to be thinking about, no, I'm going to come from a place of I'm being helpful. Your dog wasn't awesome today. We need to help your dog be as awesome as they can be. This is what we were able to get done. This is what we worked on. And just tell them up front, this is what we worked on, and this is what we'd like you to work on and continue to work on, and this is what we're working toward, and this is the price. Ta-da! You know? It's like, don't feel sorry that you couldn't do it. Don't give discounts because trims don't look beautiful on dogs who are not behaving. Okay. And I still see it an awful lot. And then I see stuff like, oh, well, maybe have the vet sedate the dog. But maybe we shouldn't go down that route yet until we really have someone take a behavior history with those owners. This week's weekly action step is to plan ahead for uncomfortable conversations. I want you to practice your I'm here to help and be it really peppy that talk is prepared. It'll help you stay focused and help you to not start apologizing. So for owners, your version, which is very similar to what I use when I'm bringing my dog to my vet. I want you to think about your version of this pep talk is, I'm working to teach my dog to be great for grooming and vet visits. And it's really important to me that my dog doesn't get to a point where they're scared or stressed. Today is not an emergency, so just stop if my dog can't handle something and let me know about any trouble you had or any concerns that you're having, because I'll work on it so that all future visits will go smoothly. Right? That's very proactive. It's very, I'm here to help. We're in this together. All right. The groomer version. I'm going to use the groomer version that's from the safety policy. So before you even book the dog, before you even start working, get your hands on the dog, if at any time your dog gets nervous, anxious, scared, aggressive, or even overly silly, we slow down and help your pet be calm. It's very important to us that the pets in our care are safe and stress-free. We're using sharp tools and we need to prevent injuries. So we'll work with your pet to help them feel comfortable and to build a great experience for successful grooming for your pet's lifetime. Your dog may not be finished. Your dog may not be groomed to perfection today. We will charge you for the time we spent helping your pet. Just present it as if you are being plain as day. We're here to help. Okay. These are your we're here to help talks. Now here's another version for trainers and vets and any of the other dogs. What we want to do is, this one is a different version. So tell us everything you can about how your dog responds to grooming and vet visits, because we want to work toward your dog feeling comfortable. This is for your dog's health and safety, and it's also for you as the owner to be able to safely care for your dog. We're here to help. So this is your weekly action step. Come up with your version of your we're here to help pep talk so that you are prepared the next time, so that you don't feel apologetic for not finishing a groom, or you don't feel apologetic that, you're not going to do a whole bunch more things on a dog who's not prepared for it, so that owners feel confident that you are here to help them solve their problem. And owners, so that your vet realizes, oh, she's not saying we're going to decline service. She's saying she's working with her dog, because that makes you a dream customer. I got to tell you, we all love that. We're like, oh, she's working with her dog. Yes, anything we can do to help. All right. So that is your weekly action step. Have a great week and stay curious. If you'd like to talk to me, you can find me through my grooming and training business, happycrittersdogtraining.com, my email, chrissy@happycritters.net, and through the Creating Great Grooming Dogs Facebook page. And we have these awesome devices in our pockets that allow us to do live video with each other. I can help you with the dog on your table. We can set up live lessons, and you may be surprised at how much we can get accomplished together via video. I'm also happy to come to you if you're near my area in southern New Hampshire. If you're ready to go beyond the podcast, and I hope you do, I've made it really easy for you. If you go to creatinggreatgroomingdogs.com and click on your next step, you'll see all of the options. There's the Scholar Lounge community, there's the Modern Grooming Professional Certification, there's Master Canine Stylist and Professional Canine Stylist Diploma testings, there's the Behavior Lab for coaching and private one-on-one sessions with me, and of course, the Master Groomer Behavior Specialist program. So go to creatinggreatgroomingdogs.com and click on your next step.